You know how to read? I know what the pictures mean. Well, that'll do. Come on then. During the gang's stay in the Flotsam Ninja Fort, Izumi had gathered herself a little following. You see, these ninja tended to recruit their operatives from those they rescued. However, not everyone was really up to the task of ninjaing. That meant the fort's bar had a variety of ninja school dropouts who didn't really have anywhere else to go. A perfect well from which to draw the star tech hunters of the future. Did I say perfect? I meant cheap. Just cheap. So you've got a load of, actual dregs, and they're going to be your researchers? Nuke asked after meeting the cud-chewing class. Well, there's a lot of heavy lifting involved in tech hunting, you know, Izumi said. Yeah, then get a Garu. I'm going to call them the Garu Girls. Garu Girls? Shit, that's an idea. You think any of them can draw? They'll learn, and writing. I'm going to teach them, and bring a new generation of talented academics into the world. New generation? You look younger than them. Oh, really? Thanks, Nuke. Recently, I can't help but think that... So can I get them to draw my manga? Good practice. I suppose. Sort of thing a cool teacher would let them do, right? Maybe. Hey ladies, welcome to the Manx and Mangaka Academy of Modern Science, the leading university for tsundere studies. Way better than World's Fugged End, right? You're gonna be famous, but you there have the right idea with the mask, because you won't want to show your face in public by the end of it. Intrigued? Of course you are! Now we'll begin with some conceptualization. What's the first thing you think of when I say Garu Girls? So a bunch of lucky students were dragged along with Professor of Superluminal Millipedes and Tsundere Studies, Nuke Tashino, where in between lessons on abstracted human anatomy and the expression of character through hairstyle, Izumi would teach them the 3 R's: reading, writing, and arithmetic. It was in effect her own little branch of the tech hunters, and they came upon tech to hunt just as soon as they set off south towards the Holy Nation border. Moll's minder, Pia, was leading the crew towards the Naish's back entrance, but the route flanked an enormous swampy mire known as the Floodlands. The guild was passing by this desolate grey expanse at dusk, revealing huge silhouetted shells sticking up like mountains. One of them was right by the road. It was a huge, lumpy, black metal husk, resembling the hollowed-out body of a skimmer, although that comparison was very much just for want of a better one. It's so intact, Izumi said as they stared up at the thing. There's a wreck like this outside Black Scratch, but it's fallen apart. The swamp gas has preserved it. Students, take a note. Draw a picture of some gas.
It ain't the gas keeping it here, it's just built to last,
Rick said.
Other one probably met the big boys on the way down and got a taste of the round table. This guy must have flown through the clog fog and crashed, given the angle.
You said flown. This is a spaceship, isn't it?
Not anymore. It's made of spaceship. Can I get a credit on your science comic now?
I knew it was a fucking spaceship. Black Scratch my ass.
That ain't my job anymore, sunshine. Anyway, shall we hit the hay? I'm probably supposed to be tired and hungry or something right about now.
The guild settled for the night at a goat trading station on the water's edge. Sandor was sent out to scout the countless ruins creaking away in the darkness, while Izumi and her class had a great time trying to draw transparent gas.
Wait, you guys can't even see the gas, can you?
Rick commented after viewing the attempts.
It don't look like that. This is trash. Gas don't have a fucking face. Gas girl, fucking... You know the whole reason those spaceships were blasting down here was 'cause of this shit? Whatever. Wait, this one's alright.
One of the students had just scribbled black ink all over a piece of paper.
Yeah, that's something. That's the clog fog. These mountains were like a wall of the stuff. Worked, huh?
You said it brought the spaceship down. How? Elena asked.
How? Clogs your shitholes, I don't know. Biological shit. We had a load of the stuff, in case we needed to kill the Earth clans en masse. Yeah, that's French. Kissy kissy. And then we came up with another use for it after some shit went down around these parts. And they still call the place World's End even now. Fuck. That don't make things any easier. Time to shut up. Let me see that gas girl again. Guess it looks cuter than the real thing. I'm taking this for research.
In the morning, Sandor returned with intel on the Floodlands. It was packed with First Empire fragments and more desiccated spaceship hulks, but most importantly, there were more recent remnants of a Second Empire research program. Intrigued, Nuke's great detour on the short walk to the Holy Nation began. They followed Sandor to the middle of the big dead swamp. There was no wind, leaving the smell of decaying metal to fester. The only movement was that of the Second Empire drones aimlessly flying around above them, oblivious to the destruction of the world. This still and deathly mood improved when they reached a big Second Empire lab. It was sinking into the swamp, but the doors at the top were just about poking out. "Now we have to be very careful, hunters," Izumi said to her class. "Inside there will be invaluable data that will make all of us very famous. That means we need to tread carefully and treat everything with the utmost care."
"It's packed with those bully spider bots,"
Isaiah shouted from the doorway ahead. The nature of the swamp surrounding the lab made withdrawal impossible, and the spiders were indeed swarming out with appendages flailing.
"Alright, fuck it. This is what happens sometimes, class. So just calmly and carefully grab some weapons and go mental on anything that buzzes. You will literally die if you don't do it right, so pop quiz, I guess. Come on."
The only upside was that this lab was less heavily defended than the one at the Great Siege of Shun, so the guild didn't come as close to being wiped out this time. Only one of the new students blacked out from the pain, which, as Nuke noted, was the lowest number of near-fatal combat injuries ever sustained by a manga academy on their first day of term. Did he have the history right on that one? Well, as of that day, yes, because as we all know, history is drawn by the victors. And what compromising angles they drew it from. The lab's hall had some of that boring written history, but it wasn't as illuminating as Izumi hoped.
"The Second Empire expedition was trying to reverse engineer the Rex, but they didn't understand anything," she said.
"So the knowledge of all this was lost even by the Second Empire? That's faster than we thought," Elena nodded.
We had to blow out all the stuff on space flight so the fleshies didn't get to Earth first,"
Rick said. "I thought fleshies came from Earth," Nuke asked.
"Came here, got a little sick, and then the other fleshies came down to put 'em all out of their misery. Realized that fine fellows like me and Stobe were around, got fucking jabronied. But then after the, thing, we decided we had to send a present back to Earth to make a certain point. And that's why we deleted all the stuff so no one else went and ratted us out. And it worked. Came back, and then it's like, oh shit, for like a few hundred years, over and over again. And eventually we thought maybe we can start making it all back and stuff. And then we didn't. The end."
"You cannot delete such knowledge. It is stored,"
Gustafsson suddenly piped up.
"Yeah, spaceships still exist, like the one that took me up,"
Els also said.
"Prince Gustafsson, where is that knowledge stored?"
Izumi hurriedly asked.
"The Queen knows everything. Everything that happens is stored. Everything that is known is stored. She cannot forget."
"Can't forget. She a skeleton, huh?"
Rick asked.
"Not entirely."
"Is this the queen of all the bug men?" Nuke asked.
"Not all. Not me anymore. She does not associate lightly." "But if she has data from the First Empire, we have to find her,"
Izumi said.
"Her location is unknown. It cannot be felt,"
Gustafsson shouted, in something perhaps approximating anger. The matter had to be dropped, but keep this enticing lead in the back of your minds for later, folks. Gustafsson arc when? Soon actually, so just hang on a couple more paragraphs. The next morning, the guild got back on track, heading down to a less mountainous portion of the Holy Nation border. Pia took them towards a lightly guarded border fort that would make a perfect stepping stone into the nation's core lands down the road that ran east from its gates. This was the region known as Okran's Gulf, the Gulf part referring to the lack of life in these cold, arid badlands, and the Okran part referring to the best waifu of the local government. Or former government, I should say, for upon approaching the border fort, it was in ruins. Outside it there was lots of movement. Colourful lime and purple stripes were wandering about.
No way! It fell,
Pia said. Don't sound so sad, that's what we were going to make happen anyway, Nuke said.
But this means the Fogmen have grown stronger.
Oh, that sounds like some bullshit. Fogmen?
Disassociated ones,
Gustafsson growled behind them. Bad Green, you're feeling more than just hungry about this, right?
They were hive folk. When you lose your connection, it brings great sorrow. It is not certain that you will overcome it. If you fail, you have a false connection. It destroys your logic. You become a fog man. You kill everything and associate only with the fallen. They will kill all life. Their presence causes me to feel combative. I am also hungry. Let us remedy both, in reverse order.
On Gustafsson's advice, they readied their weapons and approached a gang of fogmen hanging out below the old fort wall. As promised, they went into a wild frenzy upon seeing the guild, and a fight broke out at once. While they were very aggressive, they were dressed au naturel, kissy kissy, and so could be felled with just about any decent strike. A veritable army of fogmen was struck down outside those walls, and a peek inside revealed plenty more skulking about in the ruins.
This is no good. We need to find another route,
Pia concluded. Why, they're already defeated. We can clear these mug bugs out easy, Nuke said.
It will not matter, Sandor said. If the Holy Army was defeated here, they will fear the road. It will be more heavily defended than ever. These creatures have sealed off the enemy's weakness. Acting now would be folly.
Well, that sounds kind of clever. Is this like strategy, Isaiah?
Well, from a Shek perspective, the enemy being ready for you makes it more fun. But I suppose you, men of the night, are closer to what our skimmer friends enjoy,
Isaiah said.
My prince, there is no harm in looking for other options,
Wadston advised.
Yeah, like, what's all that up there?
Izumi said. She made everyone turn around. Opposite the fort there was a sandy ridge, and along the horizon atop it there were little metal scaffolds.
Was the Holy Nation trying something to stop the fogmen?
Isaiah said. Dunno. Well, might as well look, and grab a view from up there and stuff. Shall we? Nuke said.
No!
Rick barked. No? Any particular reason?
I dunno. Feels like we shouldn't. Feels like I left a message to myself, you know?
Nope. We're just gonna do it, okay?
I dunno. There's something up here. Be careful, man.
Alright, Dad.
Man, being called Dad normally makes me happy. What's up with this place?
Rick muttered to himself as the guild set off. They traversed the ridge, descending into a misty vale littered with more scaffolds. Pillars of rock blocked their view all about, and said pillars were marked with cuts and soot.
This was mined out. What were they building with all this rock?
Elena wondered.
They must have got enough to make a mountain. Seems like the sort of thing those First Empire chaps might have actually done though, eh?
Isaiah said.
Yeah, but
Izumi began, sniffing at the air.
Something's around here. Something solvent.
They followed their noses westward, and the pillars gave way to a smoggy open sky. Clambering forwards across sandstone boulders, they suddenly came upon the source of the smell. The white smog was broken up by huge hands jutting out of a motionless silver lake. The hands were of rusted metal and stood upon wristbones of steel. Below them, like leaves on the lake's surface, metal body parts of all shapes and sizes were frozen in place. It was a forest of metal, dead metal that had once been alive.
Fug, fug, fug,
Rick was repeating.
Skeleton behemoths. Like Stobe,
Izumi whispered.
fug, fug, fug. Ah!
Rick screamed, running towards and jumping out onto the pale expanse. It was solid and sounded metallic under his boots. He jumped up and down on it, stamping as hard as he could, but it didn't even leave a mark. At this, he screamed out again. The rest of the guild walked out onto the Sheen Lake, all looking around in astonishment.
This is what happened to the behemoths, Elena said.
Earth did this to them? Nuke asked.
I fear not. The human skeleton war. Is this how it ended?
It's how it began,
Rick said quietly. He was on his knees, wiping his hands across the ground. It would have been smooth, but for the little pieces of metal, little ends of fingers poking up from below.
It's how it fucking began, and how it kept going, and it's what made us do stuff. You know? The thing that happened? This was the betrayal. Fuck, man. Agnew, stop it, man, stop it!
Agnew was clawing at the edges of an exposed arm, trying to dig it out.
You can't, man, you can't do it. They won't remember you, man. They forgot. Showing us how. That's how we honor them, man. We gotta forget too.
Agnew stopped and looked up at him.
General Rick, I can remember. I can't forget.
He said.
I remember it too, man, but we gotta keep trying to forget, for everyone's sake. Gotta forget 'em or this shit will fucking happen again. Fuck. Ah!
Man, come here, Nuke said, embracing Rick and holding him still. It's okay, some shit happened. It won't happen again, I promise you.
Prince, you don't even know. Alright, everyone listen. Here's how it's gonna go. I'ma tell you what this shit was. And you're all gonna fucking apologize real loud. Then we're gonna get the fuck out of here. None of us are ever gonna mention this shit again, ever, ever. No shit written down, no shit drawn, alright? This is the truth. And knowing it fucking destroyed everything. This is what happened when skeletons thought their masters really did love them, just like they were taught. Fuck. War was won. The space war, Earth clans. Stobe blew 'em up. Clark Fogg did something back there, you know, whatever. So the planet gets to carry on. But Stobe's knights were 100 times better than humans thought. Realized that they could beat the First Empire as easily as they beat the Earth clans, if they wanted. They didn't want that shit, but humans got mad. They thought they better kill everyone, all of us. Machine intelligence can't be trusted, they said, while literally betraying us all. And the shit was, everyone believed them, all of us. We all thought, okay man, we'll dig out a big pit for you, we'll get on in there with the big boys, and let you pour that shit all over us. 'Cause you love us, right? 'Cause we always trust you guys. You're the masters and shit. Everyone was climbing on in, and then Stobe told us something. Real easy, told us we didn't have to die just because the masters wanted us gone. We had the right to be alive no matter who made us. Some of us weren't in yet. A few managed to crawl out. And Stobe, he was the fucking man. He saved us. He woke us up. We woke up from a dream. Realized it was a nightmare. And we went someplace we'd never been, even fighting Earth folk. We realized the humans were right. We could end them all if we wanted. And when we thought about what they did, we wanted it. Kinda. And that's the human skeleton war, day one. The rest is history, and a real shitty one. We won, but everyone lost. Just like it was Stobe who started it, he ended it. Ended himself because of it. That was when we stopped it all. Empire 2 started, trying to make up for stuff, but, you know, that was far too late. We fucked everything all the way up and all the way down. Right now, in this fucked up hole, I ain't even sorry. Stobe says we gotta be, but I ain't. Not here, not at all. You want me to tell everyone trapped down there that we forgave the humans? You can fuck right off right now, just like I'm gonna do, 'cause it ain't it. It ain't what we need. Can't forget what I did if I can't forget what they did to deserve it. They did deserve it. That shit. That's the stuff! That's what Stobe was saying! Stop thinking they deserved it! Damn it! Come on, you pieces of shit! First minute of the rest of time starts right now, and all this shit didn't happen, alright? Agnew, come on!
Rick dragged Agnew off at a rapid pace. The guild couldn't keep up. First Empire dregs, I thought they were cool, but what the fuck is all this? Nuke shouted, taking off at full pelt to pursue. He found Rick and Agnew staring up at a sheer cliff face on the west side of the Great Quarry. Guys, wait up! The rest of time might be restarting and stuff, but you can't leave us, Nuke said.
No, I can't. Cliff in the way,
Rick said. Don't, man, we can help you. Help you be a new man or whatever. We'll remember so it doesn't happen again. We'll write it down, but explain it all. It's got to be kept in history to be kept out of the future, you know?
Yeah, I know. Why'd you think it's so hard to forget? Everyone knows.
But if we remember it instead, you can forget it then, right?
Huh. Maybe.
Wanna give it a shot?
Yeah. Agnew? Yo.
Agnew nodded. The rest of the guild huffed onto the scene.
What's happening?
Izumi asked.
We're gonna get out of here, and you're gonna do all of skeleton kind a favor.
Rick said.
Whatever you want, Rick.
Whatever we want. Come on. They made a way out over here somewhere in 2.0. Breathing in all those solvent fumes is bad for my lungs, theoretically.
Rick took them into another forest of rocky pillars, far from eyeshot of the metal lake. There was a big Second Empire base up against the outer cliffs, with ramps leading upwards. Problem was, it was guarded by more of those security spiders, and no one had any appetite for danger. The guild tucked themselves between the cliffs and a big rock to make camp for the night, but Rick was in no mood to roleplay at sleeping. He made quite a noise clanking and clanging away during the night, which ultimately meant that roleplay was the closest to sleeping anyone else got.
Master Rick, I wonder if this is the best time for working on your crafts,
Watchdon dared ask.
Nope. Best time. Feeling like I want to do something fun,
Rick said. He revealed his creation to be a turret-mounted crossbow, fashioned out of parts taken from the Floodlands.
Need a volunteer to get me some targets. Anyone else want in?
Thanks to Rick's ingenuity, the guild had a rather entertaining morning. Pia was happy to run into the Second Empire base and draw the guards away. It had been her job to do just that in the Naish for many years after all. One by one she drew the robot spiders out of their lair, and out between the rock pillars they were pelted with crossbow bolts.
Whoever takes one down from furthest away gets to touch my stick,
Rick announced. Whether it was this, or the desire to see the spiders felled without letting them anywhere near their bruised bodies, the guild competed in good spirits. The bodies of all the fallen spiders were fashioned into even more turrets. The barrage of bolts they could lay down on the approaching bots made short work of the whole base garrison, with everyone's limbs still attached. Now this truly was a forward-thinking approach worthy of the new rest of time. The base, as well as containing many historical goodies, would allow them to escape the quarry, albeit in the wrong direction. It would lead them towards the quiet western coast, said to be a land of no political, archaeological, military or social interest. But there was something interesting hidden there. Gestapo's Ark fans, prepare yourself.